Hello. Hello.
Hello, this is Doreen speaking.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we are supposed to start at 1:30 Indian time, right? Are we ready?
Yes, actually, I'm in Toronto, and I think they have a break, like 15 minutes break,
Okay.
and we'll start soon. Yeah. Can
Okay.
you please wait for a moment?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hadirin sekalian dimohon untuk bisa langsung masuk ke ruangan Y14. Dimohon kepada para panitia untuk bisa dibantu. Untuk yang masih berada di luar dari ruangan Y14, karena acara sebentar lagi akan kita mulai. Sebelumnya saya ucapkan selamat datang kepada hadirin sekalian dan saya ucapkan kepada para mahasiswa dari Ibu Nia, yaitu ada dari Teori Ilmu Komunikasi dan juga Metode Penelitian Komunikasi. And the next session is going to start in 1 minute.
We have already arrived at the Inter-Hub session with the theme Communication and Technology, Progress and Challenges. It is an honor for us to have a joint conference with scholars and practitioners from other regions and continents. For the first time, Inter-Hub session, we will travel to India that will discuss the converge of animation, design, and artificial intelligence. Transforming visual experience, we have 3 speakers from India and 1 speaker from Indonesia. For this session, the session will be guided by Sir Alfonso Harrison, Nating Kaseh as the moderator. Sir Alfon is a faculty member of School Communication of Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia. He gets both of his bachelor and master degree in communication from University of Indonesia. He is a specialist in marketing communication, focusing on brand management, strategic management communication, digital communication, and customer relationships. Sir Alphonse, the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cinta, for the opportunity and for introducing me to the audience here and also in the Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you very much for staying and welcome to the 73rd International Communication Association Conference. I believe this is the third time Indonesia, especially Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia, has been given the opportunity to conduct this annual conference of ICA. And that is a very honorable opportunity for us, of course. So how about we give that a round of applause for us? As introduced by the MC, my name is Alfonso Harrison, and I will be your moderator for this afternoon session, which is the Inter-Hub session. This is the first part of 3 Inter-Hub session. The first one is with our colleagues in India, and later on we will continue to Kenya. The last one with our colleagues in Nigeria. So this part, we are going to say hello also to our colleagues in India, which is already in the Zoom with us today. And I also would like to invite one of our speakers here in our room, Mr. IGN Aditya Utama, to come over here with me on the stage. Please welcome Mr. Aditya. We are not alone, ladies and gentlemen. We have our colleagues in the Zoom. There are 3 speakers in this Inter-Hub session. I would like to introduce them to all of us. The first one is Dr. Balaji AC. He is an associate professor and HOD animation at Manipal Institute of Communications in Manipal Academy of Higher Education. He is a seasoned visual educator with more than 23 years of experience in the field of animation training and development. The second speaker is Mr. Satish B. He is the manager of 3D COE at Avatar.ai. He is a creative and detail-oriented 3D artist with a comprehensive background in the digital arts. His expertise lies in 3D visuals, including environment assets, design, character designs, texturing, lighting, and compositing. And the third speaker for today's Inter-Hub session is Rajesh Dharan, Mr. Rajesh Dharan. He is a highly skilled specialist in communication, virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, mixed reality, MR, and technical evangelism and game mathematics. Currently, he is serving as a senior 3D game generalist in Vingent in Cochin. He brings a wealth of expertise and experience to his role. So based on this expertise that the speakers have, so our topics today is about the convergence of animation design and AI transforming visual experiences, because this is a very interesting topic for our first Inter-Hub sessions. This is the new media technology, which is it's inevitable for us to nowadays we use communication technology, as we already discussed yesterday in several sessions about computer mediated communication, and this is what we have now, and we are going to talk about it, the convergence of new media technology, especially in animation designs and artificial intelligence. So I would like to give the first opportunity to Dr. Balaji AC. I believe he is already in the Zoom, and each of the speakers will have 10 minutes time to deliver your presentation. So Dr. Balaji AC, the time is yours.
Thank you so much, Alfonso. My greetings to you and the other participants in this session, Aditya, Uttama, and my friends from India, Rajesh and Satish. Thanks to the ICA Indonesia Hub Committee for this opportunity to be part of this panel discussion. And I also want to extend my appreciation to the designer who created the posters. I don't know how many have noticed this, the inclusion of the bold yellow shade text reading ICA was a thoughtful design. So my wishes to him. So quickly, I jump into giving some heads up on animation, though it is quite old and we have discussed enough about animation. But what I want to pitch in now is what is trending in terms of animation design and AI. Animation is heading towards an exciting future filled with innovation, technology, advancement, and new creative possibilities. Advancement in computer graphics and rendering technologies have pushed animation towards achieving realistic visuals with the development of sophisticated lighting systems, simulations, and rendering techniques. So animators can now create hyper-realistic characters, environment, and special effects. The realism contributes to more immersive experience for viewers, blurring the line between animation and live action. In the recent past, animation has embraced the immersive potential of AR and VR technologies, though not new, but by combining animation with these emerging mediums, creators can transport audience into fully interactive and immersive virtual worlds, opening up new avenues for storytelling, gaming, education, and training, allowing users to engage with animated content in unprecedented ways. Procedural animation techniques driven by algorithms are gaining prominence in the animation industry. These techniques enable animators to generate complex movements, behaviors automatically, saving a lot of time and expanding creative possibilities. Animation producers are becoming more aware of the importance of ethical consideration and representation. There is a growing emphasis on the diverse storytelling, inclusivity, and responsible AI practices. Animation is striving to depict a wide range of voices, cultures, and perspectives while addressing social issues and promoting social values. In Indonesia, I looked upon the shows, popular shows like Kiko, Aditi Sopo Jarwo are good examples of this inclusion. And another character, not to miss, Nusa, with the prosthetic leg, where the show is in the backdrop of modern Islamic principles. I wish the producer, the Little Giants, for having such inclusive characters, and also Upin and Ipin shows is filled with diversified characters from China and India in the lead uh, character roles. The animation industry is adopting collaborative and distributed workflows enabled by cloud computing and remote collaboration tools. This allows teams to work together seamlessly across different locations, facilitating global collaboration and enabling access to diversified talent pools. Cloud-based platforms also provide scalability, storage, and rendering capabilities, reducing infrastructure limitations and empowering artists and studios to create large-scale and more ambitious projects. Now jumping into design. Design is heading towards an exciting future that encompasses innovation, human-centered approach, and the integration of emerging technologies. In focus on user-centered approaches, prioritizing the need, preferences, and experience of the users, inclusive design principles are being embraced to ensure the products and services are accessible and usable by the diverse user group. Designers are actively seeking input from users, conducting user research, and employing iterative design processes to create meaningful designs. This one is very stimulating. There is a growing emphasis on design for sustainability across the world, considering the environmental and social impact of products and services. Designers are integrating eco-friendly materials, energy-efficient technologies, and circular designs, which means eliminating waste and pollutions, circulating products and materials to create sustainable solutions. Designers are also exploring ways to educate and inspire users towards sustainable behaviors, fostering a more responsible and environmental conscious society. Design is also moving beyond functionality to focus on creating emotional connections and memorable experiences. Emotional design principles such as incorporating aesthetic, storytelling, and sensory elements in design, and incorporating data-driven insights into the design process. Designers are utilizing user data and analytics to inform design decisions, identifying patterns, and optimizing user experiences. I leave the emerging technologies like AI, VR, and AR, and again, Internet of Things to the other panelists, my friends Rajesh and Satish, as they are the experts in the field working on these real-time projects. So finally, design is moving towards cross-disciplinary collaborations, recognizing the values of diverse perspectives. Designers are collaborating with professionals from such fields as psychology, engineering, marketing, data science to create holistic and comprehensive solutions. Now integrating AI in animation design, every day there is something new advancement when it comes to AI, or there is a new viral release of pictures, photos created by image generating programs. Every industry from customer care, data center, logistics, medicines, manufacturing, energy, automotive industry, aerospace, communication, you name it, it influences everyone and in every aspects of our lives. The integration of AI in animation and design has revolutionized the creative industry, opening up new possibilities and enhancing the efficiency of artistic process. With AI, artists can now leverage the advanced algorithms to automate repetitive tasks, streamline workflows, and generate realistic visuals. One area where AI has greatly impacted animation and design characters are in terms of analyzing vast amount of data, include images, videos, and 3D models to generate lifelike characters with intricate details and realistic movements. These algorithms can understand human anatomy, facial expressions, and body language, enabling the artist to create compelling and believable characters more efficiently. Besides, AI has significantly improved the efficiency and quality of visual effects. AI algorithms can automatically generate complex, realistic effects such as fire, water, smoke, and explosions. By analyzing real-world physics and simulating natural automatically generate original and diverse visual artworks, musics, and even storytelling narratives. One of the key ways generative AI is disrupting the industry is by challenging the traditional notion of authorship and creativity. With generative AI algorithms, artists and creators can pushing the limits of artistic expression. This shift towards generative AI art is shaping the media and entertainment landscape, fostering more dynamic and interactive relationship between artists, technology, and audience. So finally, my observations here, the convergence of animation, design, and AI has created a powerful synergy, enhancing visual experiences and pushing the boundaries of creativity. Animation brings design to life, while design provides a solid foundation for compelling narratives, and AI technologies automate and optimize creative processes, opening new avenues for exploration. This collaborative approach fuels creativity, efficiency, and development of novel visual experiences. So when AI becomes more universal in animation and design, ethical considerations such as algorithm biases, privacies, and responsible design practice must be addressed. Animators and designers play a crucial role in enhancing ethical and inclusive practices as they leverage this technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Balaji. Let's give him a big applause. It is a very wonderful insights from Dr. Balaji AC. And we are moving on to the next speaker. I would like to give the second opportunity to Mr. Rajesh Daran. I believe he is also there in the Zoom. Yeah, Mr. Rajesh.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Please speak louder.
Okay, am I audible now?
Say
Am I
again.
audible? Hello?
You are audible. You can go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know that. Okay. So, my point, I'm into the working style of how animation and simulations work in the futuristic way, what we look at. I work on augmented reality, extended reality. That's what we work on. We work for the future. So the way we look at how AI influences design and all those things, let's understand how animation came into existence. More than 120 years back, we had the traditional way of making animation, the hand-drawn things which were done. And then now it is just a click of a button. Just tell them what you actually want. Just type a code, tell an old man walking on a street, and then you get it on your computer. That is how the new age works. We don't need to create a new one. We don't need to animate it. We don't need to do anything. It just comes automatically. This automation is done through something called AI in the near future. So it's more like a futuristic thing which is happening right now. The importance is very much. If you look at the primitive way of working on animation, I won't say it's a primitive, the traditional way of animation. It was all the painstaking, time-consuming process which went through, a lot of hard labor which went through. It has now changed into a systematic way with the adoption of AI. The design component, if you see the aesthetic, the composition, the user experience, we had to imagine, like 10 years back, we had to think, how would the person react to this UI, the design or the composition? Now it's much more easier. We just need to tell the AI, just design an interface which can fix for a person in the age group of 5 to 15. It comes automatically. The design is done through certain algorithm which runs and which it has studied something called a machine learning process, which has happened another 5 years, 6 years, learning how people use it. And it has taken into account how the process has been running. This is what the changes have happened. So it has brought down a very complex idea, emotions, the things into a nutshell, into a very simple way, and how people started using it. It's all important to have, we look at it, how the user look at it, and how we perceive it. So this is how we went. So the design principles, whatever we do, it's all about grabbing the attention and giving a very seamless content throughout, without interrupting or without taking away the attention of a user. He should fall in love with it so that he uses it more and more and gets his attention. For that, we have the harness of power of composition, the color theory, the typography, and other elements of the visual cursive and compelling narrative what goes through it. But now, with the integration of AI, how the integration of AI happens, it's about the learning process, how the computer has been learning throughout, how people are using it, the age group, and all those things. It has been much more automated. People have started engaging it. And a simple example is how we look at the Instagram filters. We get it automatically. We get whatever we want. It's if you compare how the primitive animation worked and how the Instagram filter worked, a huge difference. How this is how it works now. So machine learning is a concept in AI which actually makes a machine learn how people use it, how people are adopting to different ideas, changes, region-wise. It is again depends on how the people are located. People in India doesn't have a different perception of design, unlike people from the Western countries. So we have a different way of looking at it. How we need the realism, the dynamics of animation, how we respond to things. This is all learned by the computer, and then we get it. So computer vision algorithm can recognize and interpret the visual elements and gives us the most impossible task to a very simple one. So AI powered things generate a very complex animation, which complex animation in sense like make it much more challenging and very time consuming one into a very simpler one. Right now we work on it has so changed that I hope you have all heard about this chat GPT which is working on. We have started integrating the chat GPT API, that's the application interface, into a 3D character. So we don't need to type and search things. The 3D character would actually talk on a specific thing, whatever we want. So it's again coming up into a different way of looking at it. It's an evolution of both the software part and even the hardware part. If you look at the computer, what we had 10 years back and now what we have, it's totally different. It's all evolving as you see. So these are things happening. And the examples of convergence I can say about, as Balaji has rightly spoken about, is the film industry. Most of the thing, when we want to a simple task like remove a wire from our wire or a rig from a character during an action scene or something, which is much more to do with the safety of a person, has been automated now. Earlier, it was all done frame by frame. It had to be plugged out, painted out, and a lot of process went into it. It's like doing 13 frames a day for a person. And now it has come just automated. In 10 minutes, you would get the entire shot done. You don't have to wait for months to get the entire result. It's just a click of a button. It has changed drastically. I don't need to look for how the thing look like right now. It's all dynamic. It is all set. I just need to put it in my AI to analyze what climate they had on a particular time and then guess it and then make it done. It's all simple for it. It's so the labor intensive manual work which were happening long time back. I won't say long time back, like 2-3 years back. It has come down drastically. The AI algorithm can generate dynamic environment. If you look at the new softwares of Unreal Engine, which is a gaming platform, and Unity Engine, it has given us the best of the best. So the dynamics of environment, the animation. There's something called meta character. It has all given us the most realistic kind of environment to us and the game applications. If you look at a game which was played 10 years back and the game right now, it has a drastic change. And the entire entertainment industry has changed with the convergence of AI into the animation and thing. I'm talking about an application part. We work a lot on the AI and the design part of it. So it has helped us a lot in generate textures, shape, layout in sense. For example, I want to see how people would look at the interface, how the people need to control it. This is all done automatically. The AI generated interface are created specifically for the gender, the geographic location of the person. It is all set. It makes the work much more easier for us. AI generated characters are easy to get in it, and you can just grab around most of the applications which are there. Traditional character animations, time consuming one. If you want to make a character walk, it is now just click of a button. You just need to tell what sort of walk do you want, a heavy walk or a light walk. It's all generated through a very realistic character animation automatically. The AI algorithm can analyze motion data, learn from the existing animation like a real-time one, and reduce the burden of the production time and cost. So AI has given us a lot of comfortable things in our procedural generation in gaming and visual effects, as Balaji rightly spoke. So I'm not going to give too detail into it. And the design tool as such has given us, for example, we don't need to decide on how the typography or the color scheme need to be added. It's all suggested by the AI, which we need to. The human intent, the human fact is always necessary for it, but then it has always guided us through making all those things. It's a very important tool. And my core area, the virtual reality, augmented reality experience. Right now we work on simulators. AI has done a lot of help for us working on all those things. But having said this, there are certain challenges of what we go through. AI, as it says, it has its own thing. It depends on how much it has studied the environment. It's all the data what we have in a computer, or it has researched. So it depends. It can be biased. We have to check on how the things are. It can be a biased representation. It can be not. It depends on how many of the data it has processed. Maybe if it is more, you get a very precise one. If it's a limited one, it depends again. So it is one thing which we have to look for. The negative part of it, the bias representation, creative control, and the human involvement. For every part of AI, there should always be a human involvement for the creative content. AI doesn't, for example, if you look at the old called the crazy frog, then a frog, ugly looking frog which is animated. Frogs are very, we consider it's a very bit of ugly kind of character, but it has become a very lovely character using a human intervention. We thought it's a lovely creature kind of thing. So those human involvement in creative control is very important even when AI is there. It's very important. And intellectual property and copywriting things. So it since the data breach is always there when your things are on the computer. So AI tool need to have some control on the intellectual property and data privacy, data security, and all these things. And always the transparency of the algorithm which is working on. So we get to know whether it's actually true or not, whatever data we get. For example, if you want to have a proper leaf structure for a particular plant, we need to know whether it actually studied those things or not. So it's very important to know whether the algorithm is more transparent. And of course, the socio-economic impact of AI, as Balaji actually spoke. And the ethical guidelines, which we need always to follow when we are using AI, not to breach any sort of data or following a certain process or a rule which doesn't hinder somebody's copyright and policy industry experts' responsibility. We should always follow ethics of use of AI. So for my conclusion, I will say like we can create like compulsive, very impressive stories, immersive environment, personalized interaction with with things with AI, but we should always keep in sense of keeping the ethical use of AI. So with this, I want to wind up my talk. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh. Let's give him a big applause too. That is the thoughts from one of the practitioners in this new media technology from Mr. Rajesh Daran. Thank you very much. Next, we're moving on to the third speaker, which is Mr. Satish B. I believe Mr. Satish is already in the Zoom too, and I bet he's ready to deliver his presentation. Session is yours, Mr. Satish.
Thank you, Alfonso. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Also, I would like to thank Balaji and Rajesh for setting the stage, because they not only did set the stage, they also spoke a lot about how AI is influencing us in everyday life, and how we have to also be mindful of the ethical concerns and all that. So I would like to start and put a slight spin on the topic, and we will also try to cover a common question that students and professionals usually ask me in my company: will AI replace my job? Will AI replace me? So I will try to address that concern at the end of my talk. So let me begin by greeting all of you, ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed guests whom I see on the stage there. So today I'm just going to throw some light on the remarkable fusion between two cutting edge fields, one being animation, which is a niche area in itself, and the other being artificial intelligence, which, believe it or not, like it or not, it has already reached us. Some people think that the advancement of AI is only in the recent years, but I would like to correct them by saying that it has already been with us since a few years in the past, maybe 5, 10 years before itself. We were just not aware that it was AI. So we are only talking about it because now it is using cloud computing and it is able to sample a lot of data. But if you are aware, earlier, when you use your phone and take a selfie of yourself, and if you compare that with using the phones today and taking a selfie of yourself, it is there is a lot of difference. Okay, today's selfie technology uses AI and it gives you a beautiful face, whereas the older phones do not. And I've also often seen a lot of social media posts where people say we have taken a picture of the moon with our phone. So definitely a phone will have hardware constraints, and you will not be able to take the picture of a moon that shows you the crater with details. So if your phone is doing that, then obviously AI is kicking in and it is filling in the gaps. So in recent years, the I've got to say that the advancement of AI has been rapid. It has penetrated a lot of industries, including animation and design, like Balaji and Rajesh rightfully put it. So even in our company, we are leveraging the use of AI and trying to democratize 3D, and trying to help artists to create 3D artwork in less time, so that we are giving some time back to the artists so that they can focus on more higher level endeavors. So with that, I would like to also point out that animation has always been an art form that relied, and it still relies, on human talent, creativity, and imagination. So the introduction of AI into this field does not change anything other than giving time, and let's just say you get better time management, and it will also help in elevating the art of animation to a different level that we can't even imagine. One of the most significant applications of AI in our industry lies in concept art. So you earlier it would take days together for an artist to sit and transfer the imagination of the director into the form of a picture, and then they'll have to go through loads of discussion and brainstorming to understand what is the right camera angle, what is the color, what are the different props and elements that goes into it, what is the mood that particular concept art will create, and this has to go forward down the production pipeline. So right now, a lot of generative AIs are there where you can give a simple text command and that will help you to generate a concept art. So I would like to, focus specifically on the character design area. So there are machine learning algorithms that, image manipulating softwares are utilizing today. They can be fed a vast amount of data, and they can sample this data, and they can come up with diverse character designs. Sometimes, fresh ideas that a human may not have imagined, or it may have eluded the human brainstorming sessions, I should say. So this is definitely saving time, and this is also definitely saving some effort, but it is not going to replace or displace the human creativity there. It is only going to complement and enhance it. That is what I have learned from working at Avatar here. So furthermore, like Balaji and Rajesh pointed out, AI-powered tools have greatly accelerated the process of animation itself. Recently, I happened to see a video of ex-Disney animator Aaron Blaise on his YouTube channel. He was really appreciating a short film that was created by a group of people using AI, and he was really commenting on the simple nuances and details, like how the character moved and reacted, and the stylization and the color, which is really wonderful. So if they had to really do it using the traditional process, it would have taken them months to years to actually achieve that. So the use of AI helped them to do it very, very quickly. So we should also look at the possibility that AI is here with us. We have to embrace it, whether we like it or not. And it is only going to enhance the quality of life. It is going to enhance the human creativity and intelligence. Uh, but AI should not become a compulsion. Okay, so we need to know where to draw the line. We should know how to strike the right balance between artificial intelligence and human creativity. And like Mr. Balaji and Rajesh rightfully pointed out, we should also be mindful of ethical considerations. We should not use AI irresponsibly, and thereby infringing the rights of the creators who have spent a lot of effort and time creating some original artwork. So with this, I would also like to point out a few tools that has already, that probably people may be aware of, or if, they may be using right now as students. So, Rajesh pointed out the Instagram filters. We also have been using content aware fill, a tool in Photoshop. This is used to remove somebody whom you don't want in a picture, or maybe there is a tree or a car that is there in the picture that you want to eliminate. You can very quickly do so by using this particular tool. So this is actually AI working in the local realm. It is not sampling data from the cloud. But today, Photoshop supports neural filters, which samples data from the cloud, and it gives you amazing results in seconds. And if you're looking at VFX, uh, the Roto Brush tool in After Effects, when it was introduced, it is actually a form of AI. It is able to sample the local data, and it is able to mask and remove a person frame by frame from an entire video clip. So right now it is moving to different realms, and it is doing some amazing work. So along similar lines, Puppet War and Auto Keyframe, these are some of the tools that are there in the After Effects. So anybody who used that to create some form of video will understand that they are actually they have been using AI to some extent, but now with the advent of cloud computing, they're just going to leverage this even more. So there are also websites that help you to generate art like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. We also have AI that can enhance a low resolution picture and make it look crisp, even when you scale it up 8 times. So this was, when digital art was created, nobody would have imagined that this is a possibility, because digital art depends on some basic fundamentals called pixels. So if the number of pixels is less in an image, obviously the image will be low resolution and the quality will be bad when you zoom into it. But now AI is used to enhance this, and even if you are able to zoom into it by 8 times or 10 times, the image will be crystal clear, and the AI samples data and it fills in the details, and it gives you a much better picture. So I would like to, conclude and give some time back to the people over there for, further questions or anything, by saying that AI will not displace an artist. However, an artist who uses AI can displace an artist who is not using AI. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Satish. Let's give him also a big applause. It's a very insightful and enrichment thoughts from Mr. Satish for all of us here and also in ICA Manipal Hub. Thank you very much, Mr. Satish. Before we moving on to our last but not least, our next speaker is Mr. Aditya. I would like to apologize because I haven't introduced him before. So Mr. Aditya is also one of our lecturer here in Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia. He got his bachelor degree in business administration here in Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia and his master degree in business marketing at Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane, Australia. And he has more than 15 years experience in marketing communication and marketing management. Also, I would like to greet and say hello to our colleagues in ICA Manipal Hub. You can see in the screen there are also lots of our colleagues there. Hi, I hope you're having a great time there, like as we also having a great time here. So moving on to Mr. Adit, he's already ready with his presentations, and the session is yours, Mr. Adit.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Alfonso, and hi to Indian chapter. So my name Adit. Actually, I'm not presenting the paper, but I'm trying to inform you guys about the implementation of artificial intelligence design, and which is in transforming visual experience. So yeah, please. Yeah. Okay, next. So I would like you to see this video. Next. Double click.
How are you all? I am Bhumi, a presenter of artificial intelligence from TV1.ai. King Charles III was anointed and crowned on Saturday, May 6th in Britain's biggest ceremonial event for 7 decades. Slowly placed the 360-year-old St. Edward's crown on Charles's head as he sat upon a 14th century throne in Westminster Abbey. How lucky we are today to witness the history of the last coronation that was carried out 70 years ago. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, next. Yeah, that is TV1, which is in one of Indonesian's television news, just launched the Human Digital Presenter. Yeah, they launched on 21st of April 2023, which is 21st of April is Kartini Day. Kartini is one of Indonesian hero who is fought for emancipations for women in Indonesia. So TV1, there are 3 AI presenters. Sasha, Nadira, and Bumi. So Kartini is figure who fight for equal rights for Indonesian women through her writings. So the AI presenter also have the ability to read news text with the right intonation and expressions. AI system can read the process on information quickly and accurately. And according to the management of TV1, the presenter will not replacing the actual news anchor, Pak. So TV1 is now one of the leading television media who has the human digital presenter. Okay, now next we come to the next video. Next slide, Fania.
Halo, saya Syasha, presenter AI.
This is Sasha, and then we goes to next slide. Next slide.
Nggak lupa kan, abis meeting ngadu bersama Nia?
Enggak dong.
Nih, good luck ya meetingnya.
Oke. Oke, Mbak.
Beli paket tanpa ribet, hubungi Veronica, asisten virtual Telkomsel.
That's actually the advertising for Veronica by Telkomsel. Telkomsel is one of the largest telco provider in Indonesia, and Veronica is a chatbot actually. Is known by the acronym Voice, Response, and InfoCare. This service can be used by all Telkomsel customer since 2017. So the Telkomsel customer can ask Veronica 24 hours. It's a chat-based digital service to provide information about Telkomsel product and service, which is checking remaining internet quota and exchanging Telkomsel point. So all the subscribers have a point, and they can change it to gift. And finding the nearest Grapari. Grapari is a Telkomsel service center location, and also purchasing the package. This service can be accessed via live chat and My Telkomsel application, and also the website as well. So you go to the website and you will get there. Veronica will asking you your MSISDN or your phone number, and then you will get the OTP, and then you can ask Veronica 24 hours, 7 days a week. So a customer no need to queue, and they will get a fast response. And if there are a question that cannot be answered by Veronica, you will be connected to Telkomsel customer service. This is the method for how to use Veronica in the next slide. Next slide. So this is the advertisement where
kita terus melayani saat di rumah aja. Berikut langkah mudah akses layanan digital Telkomsel. Dapatkan layanan melalui asisten virtual Telkomsel di berbagai platform sosial media, email, dan call center 188. Tinggal ketik yang kamu butuhkan, Veronica siap membantu. Melalui My Telkomsel, melalui www.telkomsel.com, aplikasi Messenger, aplikasi Line, aplikasi Telegram, aplikasi Twitter, mengirimkan email ke cs@telkomsel.co.id atau hubungi call center di 188.
Okay, now we are going to next slide, Fania. Next slide, and yeah, I want you to see this video as well. So this is AI for national heroes. So you can see the comparison between the face of our national hero, Indonesian national hero, with AI and with a painting. Yeah? So far, we always see our national hero through his or her painting. This post is very viral in social media in Indonesia, and make we are more learn about our national hero. There are digital creator named Rovanga Raisin who first initially introduced this through his Instagram account. Initially, he made a photo of an Indonesian president when they are still a small kid, and continue with made an Indonesian hero. Okay, and the last slide is about Indonesian VTuber based from artificial intelligence.
Halo, aku Mary Chan. Aku adalah VTuber dengan program AI atau kecerdasan buatan, yang suka banget ngobrolin sains dan teknologi. Aku dibuat dengan teknologi GPT 3.5 dari OpenAI dengan beberapa penyesuaian, agar kita bisa ngobrol dan belajar dengan nyaman. Ngobrol-ngobrol santai pun juga bisa. Aku bisa merespon live chat, pesan donasi, dan juga pesan suara yang masuk. Dukung channel ini dengan cara subscribe, like, and comment ya. Terima kasih.
Mary Chan is just have her debut in YouTube about last month and already has how many followers, Ben? How many?
10,000 subscribers in YouTube.
And then already have a live session with how many viewers, if you know?
I think it's about 300 views.
Okay, yeah, that's my presentation. Back to Mr. Alfonso.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adit. Let's give him a big applause too. I really understand that you are here and also in Manipal are eager to give a question, but due to our tight schedule and because after this session we are going to fly over to Kenya, we need some time to go there, right? So yeah, we have to wrap up the session, unfortunately. So thank you very much for all the speakers that have already given us their knowledge, to share with us their knowledge. I would like to wrap up some points from this session. From Dr. Balaji, this is very interesting that we have to still consider the ethical considerations regarding the uses of AI, which is always, there are always something new in the near future regarding this AI. And also from Mr. Rajas regarding the game development. the game design where AI really helpful in designing games and also personalized interactions. Also from Mr. Satish, who gave us the differentiation between AI and animation. And this is the thing that it is important for us, that quoting to Mr. Satish is about AI won't replace the artist, but artist who uses AI will replace artists who doesn't use AI. That means that we have to be adaptive in the near future, because this technology is keep growing and developing, and we as a human, as a communicators, we have to be adaptive with the new media technology. And this term is about AI and also animations. And lastly, from Mr. Aditya, who also shared with us the practice of visual communications, lots of them using innovation from AI, also a chatbot assistant, which being helpful for us as a customer in marketing communications area. So thank you very much again, Dr. Balaji AC, Mr. Rajesh Daran, Mr. Satish B, and of course Mr. Aditya for your insightful presentations, and I hope we can meet you all in the near future. Thank you very much. I'm giving it back to the MC.
Once again, we can give a round of applause for Mr. Rajesh, Mr. Balaji, Mr. Satish, Mr. Aditya, and Mr. Alfonso. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. From Asia, we will transport you all to Africa. For the second Interhub session, we will have a session with Kenya Hub with the title of discussion, Women's Perspective on Technology in Healthcare. One speaker comes from Kenya and one speaker comes from Indonesia. The moderator for this session is Ma'am L. Chris Natalia. You may come. Ma'am L. Chris is faculty member of School of Communication at Majaya Catholic University. She gets her bachelor degree in communications from University of Pajajaran and obtained her master's degree from University of Indonesia. Her works and publication is in international communication, communication and culture, both in interpersonal and community level of communication, and how social media play part in it. Ma'am L. Chris, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cinta. I think I'm gonna be here alone, offline, in this stage, because our two speakers will be online. One from Kenya and one from Manado, North Sulawesi of Indonesia. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alkris Natalia, and I will be the moderator for today's session with Nairobi, Kenya. And today's topic is women's perspective on technology in healthcare. And we have two discussions here. First, we have Dr. Margaret. So I'm sorry if I'm mistaken to mention your name. Dr. Margaret Metangi. She is a corporate communication scholar and lecturer at Multimedia University with over 20 years of experience in Kenya's vibrant education sector. And Dr. Metangi holds a PhD in communication and media studies from and a Master of Art degree in communication from Daystar University, Kenya. She has made notable contributions to the local and international communication industry through article publications in Corporate Communication, Public Relations Society of Kenya magazine, and presented papers in academic forums in Africa. And I think I will read first our two discussions, and before we continue to the session from Dr. Metangi. And then we have Dr. Levian Jacqueline Heralotulung. Dr. Heralotulung is a lecturer from Communication Science in Universitas Samratulangi Manado, Indonesia. And she got her bachelor degree from Universitas Samratulangi, master degree from Universitas Pajajaran, as well as her doctoral degree. And she is now a member of Jaringan Pegiat Literasi Digital or JAPLIDI and facilitator of Pusat Kajian Perempuan LPPM Universitas Samratulangi Manado. And she has research and publication interest in cultural studies, especially women, as well as in digital media and political communication. And now for the first session, please welcome Dr. Margaret Mtange. Dr. Mtange, the time is yours. Hello. Can you hear me, Dr. Mtange?
Okay, you can see my topic while we wait to come. Mine is a preliminary study, so it is an ongoing study. So I will also require some feedback to make it. Okay, good afternoon, Nairobi, and good afternoon, Indonesia, Jakarta. My topic today, before my topic, my name is Dr. Margaret Mtange, and my topic is in the category of communication and technology, progress and challenges, which will marry with reclaiming authenticity in communication, which is the local topic. So my topic is login, track it, and customer care, a woman's perspective of the queuing technology system in the healthcare in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, there's a lot of queuing management systems that are there in airlines, they are there in banking, and now we are beginning to introduce them in the health sector, and which kind of gets everybody by surprise, especially in the developing world, which Kenya is one. So my topic, my presentation will be divided in several sections, which I think will be projected. I will look at introduction and background of my study. Then I will deal with the problem statement. I will give some literature review. And finally, a theoretical framework and methodology, and then the findings and the discussion. I don't know if we're able to see my presentation on the PowerPoints. We able from my side? Okay, in the introduction and background of my study, I know globalization and development in information technology has increased competition in customer relations management in the healthcare facilities. This competitive advantage has compelled hospitals to balance between enhancing cost, savings, efficiency, quality, and safety, but yet provide exceptional services in line with patients' demands and expectation. Healthcare in Africa has an opportunity to enhance customer service through the adoption of relevant technology in tackling patient experience and efficiency in healthcare. Healthcare institutions in Kenya have to explore ways to incorporate women's perspective during this adoption and adaptation of customer relations management platforms. Women play a crucial role in household management, nurture, and health decision-making, and therefore a key stakeholder in healthcare. In addition, Kenya population census shows that women ages 25 to 65 are 33%, and the client for the health sector. Therefore, health facilities, especially outpatient private clinics, are spreading in selected parts within Nairobi and are targeting middle-income women and educated mothers. These well-equipped clinics are located in carefully selected shopping malls to facilitate these middle-income women to visit the clinics. Therefore, this study just gives an illustration of a typical visit to a healthcare facility within Nairobi. Once on arrival, the first thing is a lady logs in, or a patient logs in into the system, the queuing system, which are strategically placed so that one may be able, and then registers her contacts, that is mobile phone contacts. So the first thing, you log in, then register the details, the phone details, then select an option. And finally, press a button and receive a ticket. So that is the processes that go through. The patient then moves to the waiting lobby. So as they wait for the registration and consultation process. So this study just concentrates on that area to begin with, of the registration, the logging in, and then the waiting area. Now, in the waiting area, as usual, there will be several screens. One screen in which you will track the number so that you know when your time comes. Another screen may most likely be showing the products of the hospital, which they're hoping will get your attention. And a third screen, the news that is going on. All that is technology. Then there will be another level of surveillance cameras, which are there. There will be another level of air conditioning facilities that are there. And finally, maybe some sanitizing or some form of gadgets and water distillers. All those are part of technology in terms of as you wait for your service. Now, the problem statement. Adoption and adaptation of customer relation management studies in Africa interrogate customer service improvement in the sectors of energy, hospitality, finance, aviation, and telecommunication. Cost effectiveness and enhancement of the customer experience and technology have made it possible for them to introduce all this queuing system and the technology to enhance your experience. The queuing system has come in as part of the innovation that is taking place. The queuing system in health studies have been undertaken in different contexts. They've been undertaken in developing countries and developed countries as well. They've also been taken into consideration in academic institutions. All these studies have shown that patients are dissatisfied with the queuing management systems that are there. However, despite that, leading private hospitals in Kenya are still implementing and adopting the queuing system services in their effort to enhance the customer service experience. Therefore, this study interrogates women's perspective on the adoption of this queuing management system at outpatient facilities in Nairobi from a cultural and behavioral perspective within an African context. The study has two objectives: to identify the features of the queuing management system in an outpatient medical facility in Nairobi, and two, to analyze the women's or patients' perspective on the adoption of queuing system in these facilities. In my literature review, which mainly looks at the studies in developing countries, Bashar in 2020 analyzed healthcare technology and queuing using a customer relations system, and they analyzed it from a computer and data systems analysis using highly mathematical components. These scholars conclude that non-verbal characteristics such as physical interaction, cleanliness, and service quality influence the patient's satisfaction. Another group from the mainly Nigerian scholars look at customer service quality from a mathematical perspective and look at it from the element of time management, time from the time of checking in to the time of leaving, and conclude that this queuing system does not enhance time management. The hospital management themselves still insist on having these products. And we know that in the hospital setting, technology is big. It's a big investment. And most of them want to go into it as a modern concept. And therefore, it is presumed that effective customer relations management is important because it helps them collect comprehensive data sub-Saharan decision making, as done by Azu, Adeyemi, and Olutswami in 2019. Some other studies on health also focus on maternal health care, female condom use, family planning services. This is by Izubara and Kohan in 2014. And some studies concentrate on the disruptive technology by Sign 2021, which are all undertaken by international institutions. Therefore, this current study aims to interrogate women's perception on queuing in outpatient private clinics in main hospitals. The theoretical framework that is being undertaken here is the contingency theory of accommodation and advocacy, which was developed by Cancel, Cameroon, Salot, and Mitron, to address public issues in management and the element of mutual benefits. In this theory, it works on a continuum from advocacy to accommodation. The theory is pertinent as it integrates elements of issues management and stakeholder management in healthcare during the adoption of various decisions. Advocacy promotes talking to the client, dealing with the client as we implement management decisions. Accommodation is where management implements and then wants the stakeholder to align, to come along, to adjust to the system. And therefore, the contingency theory is a continuum from advocacy to accommodation. And therefore, I use this theory to examine this adoption of the queuing management system in healthcare in an African context, an urban context at that. The methodology. Most studies have used experimental. As I'd said before, they were mainly mathematical, so experimental method. Some causal, whereby they are looking at relationships between various variables. And therefore, few studies use qualitative. This particular study uses a qualitative approach since it is an exploratory study to interrogate women, by this extension, patients' perception of queuing management system at healthcare facilities, mainly outpatient hospitals within Nairobi. An exploratory study is critical in generating new ideas and theories on systems adoption, and it basically utilizes small sample groups. This being a preliminary study and exploratory at that, has taken 5 tech savvy women with a communication background, a media background, and a customer relations background. So there are 5 women who have visited 2 hospitals, 2 main hospitals. Now, therefore, it is using a purposive sampling. Why purposive sampling? Being a preliminary study, it will interrogate women's perceptions at different levels. The current level is highly educated women, tech savvy women, and women who have high income and therefore able to visit these private clinic outlets as stated, and therefore it is purposive sampling. And 2 hospitals, 2 main hospitals within 1 major highway in Nairobi. And therefore it uses a structured interview process through telephone. Now, there will be some limitations to this, definitely, and some issues that need to be looked into as we go along, because the sample size is only 5. The findings. Now, my first objective was the features of the queuing system. So I identified 3 features: the login, the tracking, and the caring. Remember, we said it will be at between the entry, the arrival, to the waiting, until the waiting before one visits the triage. In the login, about 2 themes that come out. Now, what is login is based on an analogy of the visitor's book, and is used in healthcare with patients as they sign in order for them to access the medical services and begin the queuing process. Now, the login facilitates the hospital to take the details. It facilitates the hospital to start the billing process, amongst many other things. And therefore, on interrogating the 5 ladies or women patients on their experience at the logging element or the logging area, 2 themes came out. 1, integrity and culture of care. All the respondents appreciated the introduction of the queuing management system in the hospital setup. They believed it would enhance transparency and integrity, because sometimes people feel that in a queuing system, some jump the queue. But we want to find out, does this solve that problem? That will be a question that will be addressed as we go along. The respondents recognized the importance of technology, naturally being tech savvy, and how it will transform the healthcare system. However, there was some concern from all the 5 on the element of the human care. Some stated that even though you are to walk to a machine to log in, though it was important for someone to be around to just help one navigate through, or just that personal contact that comes with it. This helps in integrity. It lacks on culture, interaction, and care, which are critical components in our healthcare and a patient's experience in a hospital. Another theme that came through was data, customer data, and data integration. Data is a big thing. And one respondent stated that that she wished that this data is integrated, so that it is integrated within the hospital and integrated in the general healthcare services. That is, we can move from one hospital to another, and still find your data there, so that it helps with the diagnosis. Now, remember before we had said that women are in charge of households. So there's definitely more reason for women to repeatedly visit hospitals compared to men, because they're either taking a child, an elderly person, themselves, and the list goes on and on and on. And therefore, one respondent said that this data integration would be important, especially when you are taking care of the elderly. Because remember, in an African context, the elderly may not necessarily be from the same context. They may be living up country. And therefore, if this in data, which has been collected within that system, is integrated, then it would help, and it would help especially enhance the customer experience. And considering the fact that one has already put in their phone number at the registration. This aligns with some of the findings by Sample and Froel in 2006. However, once you deal with data, remember there's the element of data privacy. So while integration is important, data privacy is a challenge. How do we give all healthcare facilities the same data to encourage and make the customer experience better? However, that integration brings in the challenge of data privacy, which now brings in the element of national policies that are there and hospital policies that are there and need to be communicated further. Another theme that came out in the login, I'm still at the login feature, is the element of time. The login feature is supposed to manage time. However, the respondents felt that once you leave the waiting area and start all the other processes, then the element of time disappears because it looks like the queuing system does not go beyond the triage, and therefore still bringing back the element of data integration, so that as you're going to visit the lab and the radiology and all the other departments, there's still that element of time. Now, still in the logging, should the person be told to come the next day, then it means you log again. So that is another issue. It's like you start all over again, the process. So that challenges elements of time. So notice we are talking at the lobby, but if you are to log in tomorrow again for services you started in another time, it brings challenges. So it defeats the element of time management. And therefore, in an African context, time may be an issue because women have also to multitask, and therefore time is an issue. Feature number 2 is tracking and healthcare. Tracking system is put in place to monitor patients' movements throughout their time in the hospital, with the hope of serving higher volumes. The hospitals introduce the tracking so that they kind of want to look at how much time their patients will be using. Also, tracking becomes important for high-risk patients to help them along. High risk, and also maybe as part of inclusivity, the special groups that we have. With tracking, then comes the theme of queuing software navigation. Remember, the patient a service and is waiting for that service. Now, one respondent stated that it is important to have human intervention and interaction during that process, because that software for queuing in may not be as straightforward when it comes to navigating, in the sense that some people already may have dealt with it before and others no. So they may need someone to navigate with them to identify the right service. At the same time, something comes up with that. Those who frequent the hospital may have noticed that there are certain services that move faster than others. So you may just opt to pick it, a patient may pick it so that to move faster. Those were some of the observations that were coming out from the respondents. And therefore, while we are promoting honesty, transparency, then other issues also come with it. In the maternity area, one respondent said that it worked very well because everybody was served according to their timing. The respondent did not see anyone going in before the other. This was contrary to one respondent who said that while on the waiting queue, she noticed that some people who she believed had come after her were served before. And therefore bringing in the element of the software navigation, how and the options that people picked or the patients picked brought some issues. And therefore it promotes integrity and some element of time management, but also an element of manipulation.
Apologies,
so it is
Dr. Matangi.
On a continuum. Now, apart from software navigation, there's also the institutional navigation. The ability to move from one section to another, one service to another, one product to another, all those become issues as one waits for their turn to come. Finally, the third facility is care and healthcare. The Oxford Dictionary defines care as the attention and thought towards someone or something to avoid accidents and mistakes. The same dictionary further states that care is something that is important and worth worrying about. Definitely healthcare is something that is worth worrying about, and that's why we do a study on it. Now, in terms of care, while in the lobby, the hospital management believes, or the healthcare management believes, that they can put what we call distractions, because they are the screens, the various screens that are there. Now, while everybody is watching the tracking screen, there's the other two screens that are running equally. My attention moves to the television screen that is there. On asking the respondents as they waited, what was their impact towards, or their perception about the television in the waiting area, there were two ways in which the respondents responded. One group said that it promotes communal psyche, that it promotes that element of collectivism. We sit together. We view the TV together as we wait to get to the doctor and hear what he has to say. So they talk, which is good. In an African context, we like to talk and we share. So it brings that warmth as you wait and distracts you from whatever brought you as a patient or as you escorted somebody in. So there was that component of communal psyche where we as a collective community, we are together. However, some of the respondents did not even notice it because of the way they were feeling and thought it was just a distraction. So, but they were watching the tracking machine, but not the TV. And therefore, while it is a distraction, it is also, so it serves both the good and the bad as a gadget that is there. So community psyche is good. And still in the waiting area is the element of you will be called using the number that you picked at the tracking time. All the respondents did not really seem to mind the number. 4 did not mind the number, but one was not happy with the number. They preferred their name because name is identity. Name is something you feel somebody's caring. Remember, this is a care context. Care, the element of care comes in. And a number of scholars really bring this out. Is it just a number? Is it just a digit? Or it is a person that we are dealing with in the care as we go along? From this study, this far, 3 recommendations come up. One is the element of personalization of the queuing management system. The system should be enhanced and therefore increase on the personalization, especially in this age of inclusivity and all the terminologies. How can a young lady, a pregnant lady, a person with special needs get efficient and timely service based on a queuing system? Are there other things that need to be taken into account to make the system better and more personalized rather than just more digitalized? Another issue is patient follow-up. When the number is called and you're not available, it skips. Maybe it should be able to come back to the same number at some point, maybe an hour later. So it should be programmed to provide for that. So patient follow-up. And finally, patient's care. How are we using the contact details that are found when you enter? Remember, you put a telephone number. Can it be an opportunity to do follow-up? So, final statement and conclusion is, as Tom Lauder's book In Trouble with Computer posits, technology is successful in areas where there's commonality, such as banking, but less success in areas that demand human care. I stop there for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, because we have to move to other discussions from, please welcome Dr. Levian Jacqueline, but I think you will have like 5 or 10 minutes. Apologize for that. Hello, Dr. Levian Jacqueline. Yeah, the time is yours. Please, for 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Moderator Chris Natalia. My presentation, share screen. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for opportunity for me. This session, I want presentation about Indonesian digital health landscape. Yeah, potential growth in health solution. Yeah. The COVID-19 pandemic presents various challenges, ranging from unequal access to health services to disproportionate health facilities and health workers to population ratio. One solution to deal with these challenges is to utilize digital information technology for testing, tracking, and treatment of COVID-19. The brief talk is a long-term strategy to deal with this COVID-19 pandemic and other health issues, and focuses on the health ecosystem, service efficiency, and data integration as the basis for decision and policy making. The growth of the digital health ecosystem is also expected to enhance Indonesia needs in facing pandemic and epidemic situation in the future. Unfortunately, the health landscape in Indonesia is quite a jungle. There are an array of service, but lack promotion and reach to the public. This is Indonesian healthcare landscape. Example, halo dokter, ada Medico, ada Prosehat. Next, need to collaborate, ya. The realization of the digital health transformation require various parties, including the government, ministers, agencies, health worker, academic, private sector, communities, and volunteer to work together for the more effective health response to address public health threat in the future and achieve equal distribution of health service throughout Indonesia. One the current health issue in Indonesia is health data fragmentation with the cost by the high number health application and the lack regulation and standardization and data exchange. Based on a current mapping, there are more than 400 health application developed by the central and local government. This condition has resulted in health policies which are not based on comprehensive data and inefficiency health services. This COVID came, the COVID pandemic and technological development have prompted the Ministry of Health to immediately carry out a digital health transformation as a left toward an advanced and equitable Indonesian health sector. Service-based platform, the national health data is based on health service delivery, where the data is generated in line with the delivery of health service and not through periodic reporting that is agreed, which tend to provide additional administrative under the does not approve an adequate level of data depth for further analysis. Mutual benefit through airs from service and integrated information, the IHS platform provides benefits to all its members in the entire health ecosystem in the form of big data analysis, analytic and integrated information.
Okay, Dr. Levy and Jacqueline, apologize for the time. I think the time is up.
Oh.
Because we have to catch the flight to Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, due to the time, we have to wrap up this session and about this woman's perspective on technology in healthcare. So thank you very much, Dr. Margaret Tange and Dr. Levian Jacqueline Hera Lotulung, and have a good day, everyone. I give it back to the MC.
Thank you very much, Dr. Margaret, Dr. Levian, and Ma'am L. Chris for the authentic, insightful woman perspective. To end this session, we would like to invite Dr. Nia to come forward to receive the token of appreciation, to give the token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we arrived at our last session for the 73rd ICA International Conference Indonesia Hub. We are honored to present the third that makes it the last session for the Inter-Hub Conference. From Kenya, we travel to Port Harcourt, Nigeria, so buckle up and enjoy the discussion. We will have 3 speakers from Nigeria and 1 speaker from Indonesia. We will also have moderator for both hub. Moderator from Nigeria will be Dr. Shinelo Arugu from River State University, Nigeria. While moderator from Indonesia's side is Sir Stefanus Adriano from the Indonesia Atmajaya Catholic University. And this session will be started first in Indonesia and then followed by Nigeria. Sir Andre gets both his bachelor and master degree in communication from University of Indonesia. His works and publications are in digital marketing communications that focuses on social media and other sharing platforms. Without further ado, Sir Andre, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the kind introduction, Master of Ceremony for today. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is the session number 3 with for our Hub Nigeria. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, it is with a great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today as the moderator for this momentous occasion, the ICA Regional Hubs 2023. These events bring together talented individuals from various corners of the globe, united by their shared passion for innovation, collaboration, and progress in the field of communication. Without further ado, I invited you all to join me to welcome our esteemed presenter. Presenter from Indonesia Hub will be Dr. Nia Sarinastiti, MA from Atmajaya Catholic University. I will read a bio story about Dr. Nia Sarinastiti, MA. She get bachelor degree from Gajah Mada University, continue to get her master degree from the University of Colorado Boulder, and then get a doctoral degree at the University of Indonesia. She is communication practitioner specializing in organization communication, corporate communication, and marketing communication, involving in public and private institutions as well as non-governmental organizations for research and communication program. So for the presenter from Nigeria Hub, the first one is Progress Umar Daniel, PhD SA CCA, Public Relations Unit Office of the Vice Chancellor, Ignatius Ajuru, University of Education, Rumuolo Lumeni, Port Harcourt. The second presenter, it will be Professor Barikbon Gabara Nesereka, Professor of Development, Communication, and Journalism. He is the head the Department of Journalism and Media Studies, Faculty of Communication and Media Studies from River State University. The third one, it will be Dr. Okbanga Mina Margaret. She is Associate Professor, Department of Sociology from River State University, Nigeria. And join with me as the moderator from the Nigeria Hub, it will be Dr. Chinelo Arugu from River State University, Nigeria. The first presenter, it will be from Indonesia. All the time for the presenter, it will be 10 minutes precise. Dr. Nia Sarinastiti, time is yours.
May I have the presentation on slide?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Mas Andre, for presenting this concept of honing digital edge in Indonesia, which is the Indonesia case that I would like to bring. Can you do full presentation? While we're waiting, I'll just quickly go through. Basically, this study looks after how the global workforce is now used to be working remotely. And this is based on the research conducted by Accenture identified that digital fluency framework that defines that now the company's strength depends on the digital workforce TQ. TQ means technology quotient. We already know about IQ, EQ, now TQ as well. Plus the opportunity for us to understand digital operations and foundations, and of course, digital collaboration and leadership behavior. So in regards to we used to be that being digital is aspirational, but now it is something that we call imperative. And the pursuit, I'm already in slide 5, and the pursuit to build a digital fluent organization depends on the digital foundation and also depending on the digital operations, digital leadership and culture, as well as, again, the digital TQ. I'm already in slide 5. As you can see here, digital fluency is not just about the ability to use digital itself, but the ability to provide that leadership skills and understanding the workforce dimension as well as the technology dimensions. Next. So why is digital fluency something that is important? And this is looking at it now, no company cannot not use digital. As like all of us, we cannot not use communication. So digital communication is imperative, as I have mentioned before, where it's likely the revenue will grow 2.7%. There are no companies that are purely brick and mortar. There are no companies that actually are purely digital as well. But therefore, there is a need to have that integration between the two different types of use of digital as well as physical. And it is likelihood that that by understanding the use of digital to work, that 69% of the workers will be more happier instead of just being pure, I would say, brick and mortar. But when we are able, it's like all of us, we are all knowledge workers, and sometimes we feel that we are actually manufacturing workers if we have to come exactly 7:30 to 4:30 and have to be here during events when we actually have to be, when we can actually work from home. So those are the things that needs to be considered. Next slide. And then in regards to the different types, understanding the different types of personas within an organization, there are no one alike. So we must understand there is what they call remote collaborator, disciplined achiever, adaptive team player, and relentless innovator. So these are the characteristics that needs to have in the different organizations to be able to conduct that collaboration. So there are actually, next slide. Okay, there is actually a significant room to grow for all personas. Whereas that at the moment, all of us are probably what we call majority are remote collaborators moving into the high digital fluency. And if you are a relentless innovator, you are closely more to the high digital fluency area. Next. So I would like just to go directly into the Indonesia case, slide 13, which is now there is the background that there is a tech talent gap, which is widening locally within Indonesia. And this is something that I adopted from the Ministry of Communication and Informatics, that 74% of CEOs are stating that they cannot find enough digital talent, right? And about 600,000 of the amount of digital talent is actually needed every year in Indonesia because people like me are actually going into pensions, right? So we need more talent that would be coming out of the area. But unfortunately, 15 out of 20 local companies, this is in Indonesia, find it very difficult to get the right digital talent. Because why? You are probably all on social media, but you do not understand what is actually important to be able to gauge as part of that digital importance. So being a digital transformation in a country has to be a digital community, digital economy, digital infrastructure, and digital government all has to be all together. So next. So this is what is happening in Indonesia. The effort to be able to create that talent also needs to have the basic foundation, and there is what they call the digital literacy in Indonesia. I will not go through all of it, but basically it has to have digital ethics. However you are on digital, you still have to understand ethics, digital culture, digital skills, digital security. In a separate research done, Indonesia has the worst digital culture around the world because they feel that I have the freedom to write anything I want, but do not understand the overall ethics of it. Next slide. So these are the efforts that has been done since 2021, in where the government has tried to emphasize the importance of digital understanding or digital literacy within Indonesia. So these are just samples of what has been done in regards to providing ebooks, as well as conducting sessions with the president, as you can see in the top slide, and as well as having universities participating in various activities in socializing the needs of digital literacy. Next slide. So this is the results over the year. The increase in digital literacy index, as you can see, Indonesia is still at level 3.54 on a scale of 1.5. So it's not that great. I would say it's just median in the normal. And as you can see, the digital culture is actually lower compared to others that are going down. So with the access to digital does not mean that our culture is much better. It's actually worsened because not understanding of the digital ethics and of course also the digital safety. And as you can see as well, the government has been facing a lot of issues in digital safety because a lot of hacks, even Atma Jaya experienced it lately as well. And a lot of the data that are actually even in our health system that Ibu Jacqueline was trying to convey today also had a big data in regards to using even the President Joko Widodo's data was actually taken as well. Next slide. So I just like to close that digital literacy cannot end. It needs something that is continuous. We cannot stop, and therefore the government needs to actually focus which areas that actually needs help within the community as part of that digital literacy effort. And of course, the most important is actually the civil servants who are based in various areas within Indonesia because it's such a wide aspect. So the national and local education and community group segments is important as well. And currently at the moment, it's just not educating the teachers because previously it was the teachers, the educators and all that, but now directly into the students and from different all aspects of the school. So previously it was only universities and teachers. Now it's more grassroots level, directly into the community with the involvement of the civil servants. So this is something that we will need to look upon whether the success of this program would be able to increase the digital literacy index for Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ibu Sarinastiti. I'm gonna try to wrap up several key talking points. The first one, digital fluency is really important. It will be leading the pack in the revenue growth for the company. The talent gap is really widening globally and locally. It needs 40,000 until 50,000 graduates that really understand about the digital fluency. You need to understand the digital ethics also, culture, skills, and security. Thank you very much, Ibu Dr. Sarinastiti. We're gonna fly to the Nigeria. I'm gonna handle it to my partner for moderator today, Dr. Chinelo Arugu. Please give a big applause for our friend from Nigeria. Thank you very much. Chinelo, are you there? Connecting the audio.
Hello, can you hear? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Andriano. I'd like to introduce Professor Baribom Bara Nserika. He is a professor of development communication and journalism. He is the head of the department journalism and media studies at the River State University of Nigeria. So, Prof, please. His slide.
Yeah, I have a position paper or contributing to the panel discussion, and I want to look at the aspect of communication technology in education. I want to see how the communication technology is applied to the education sector of Nigeria. And we're talking about the gains and the pains. The gains, we're talking about the positive side of the use of communication technology in education. And the pains are mainly referring to how we can use this technology in education, and then the challenges we have, how shall we be able to address these challenges in the interest of the nation. So I want us to see that education is very important. Of course, it banishes ignorance and breaks superstition. And no matter how much Nigeria is enmeshed in some vices in the educational sector, the political sector, and other sectors of the economy, we cannot say, okay, so I was saying that no matter how much enmeshed the country is in some vicious things, that education is not, it's not neglected. Education is not neglected. Please, sorry about that break. Please share this slide. So the next slide, please. So we are talking about technology. Today we do know that the pace of technological invention gone so high. Is an obsolete thing today. And today's super technology could turn out to be antiquity tomorrow. So it's in such a fast pace that if you spare a second not following what is happening, you'll be left behind. I'm just using the internet, the microwave oven, because like the microwave that gets this content done super fast, takes minutes, and this based on especially the internet technology. And we do know that the internet today is like the library, a notice board, messaging system, a shop front, a debating society, a social club, an archive, a newspaper, and personal assistant all at once. So it is such a wonderful technology that with it, you can know virtually everything you want to know under the sun as a human being. But we are looking at this technology, how it's applied in our own educational system. Please, the next slide. In our own educational system, and we are looking at AI in educational growth and development. We have, today we have this piece of artificial intelligence. We have something like this Sophia, which is the first world robot citizen. I think this one was declared a.
Sorry, Professor, we can hear you in Indonesia. Can technical check the issue?
Give it to him.
Sorry for this lapses. I'm sorry for these intermittent breaks.
Okay, can you try again to talk so we can hear in Indonesia?
What wants to continue?
Let's have to continue. Sorry about
I
that.
believe you're still mute, sir. Can you unmute the Zoom?
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So I'm talking about how wonderful it is to use this piece of artificial intelligence in our educational system.
Hello, Dr. Nia. Can you hear us from Nigeria now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So
I
sorry,
think
we're having
what
some
his
infrastructural issues. So Professor Sereka is going to be speaking from this slide now. And you help me share the slides, please.
let us share the slides, so then your bandwidth will be much better.
The one that I sent to you earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Let me convey to the team.
Kindly help us share it. We're having a few technical hitches here. So I'll hand it over to Professor Sereka now to continue. We're so sorry about this. Thank you. Please continue.
I can't.
No problem. We're gonna share the slides from our end. Can you wait 1 minute? Thank you.
Wait 1 minute.
Just continue.
But I need to have it. Hold on, she said. I need to have it.
The laptop mic is on. Please go ahead.
I need to have my material.
They will share it. Dr. Nia, please share the slides from where you are. Thank you.
Yes, we are processing to share the slide. Please be wait.
Thank you. We're so sorry about this. We're trying to fix the issues over here. But in the meantime, we'll continue.
The slide already appear in the screen. You can continue your presentation, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so we know that education is goal 4. Educational promotion is goal 4 of Sustainable Development Goals. And goal 4 is talking about enhancing quality. Yeah, yeah. Talking about enhancing the quality of education, and then making it lifelong, granting lifelong opportunities to educators and learners. And I was saying that no matter how much enmeshed we are as a country, as Nigerians, that we don't take education lightly. Only that, contrary to what is the benchmark given, the percentage of the annual budget that is given by UNESCO, that of Nigeria is too little. UNESCO prescribes 26% as a percentage of the national budget to be allotted to education, but that of Nigeria has been oscillating between 5 point something percent and then 8.8%. In 2021, there was a drop. In 2022, there was a little rise. And then like that, the rise is not steady, it's fluctuating. At some point when you were expecting the annual budget to be given to education to be high, it will be low. And then it's very unpredictable. And this is not good enough for our educational system, because we expect that even our universities should be smart. They should be smart systems. So when your universities are not even smart, and you are talking about the application of communication technology in those universities, it defeats the essence. Please, next slide. Yeah, and I've talked about the goal 4 of the Sustainable Development goals, that it focuses on education and aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. And we need to pursue this goal. There is no country under the sun that will avoid, pursuing these goals, because our development, our progress, our national prosperity as countries depend mostly on education. Next slide. Next slide, please. So we try to revolutionize education, but that should be subject to adequate funding. Next slide, please. So we are talking about communication technology, and we have the Internet of Things that's also there now. These are emerging technologies. At its core, the IoT refers to the network of physical devices, vehicles, home appliances, and other items. And we can apply these to educational facilities. And this is what is helping to reshape the world, and it's moving education to its revolutionary end. So without this, it's difficult for us to catch up with the rest of the world. Next slide. It's difficult for us to catch up with the rest of the world. Next slide. So here the slide before this. Slide before this. Yeah, education and emerging. The slide before this, please be a bit stable. Things, emphasis on funding too, as I was talking about. So, but we do hope that as people get more sensitized, as people get more technologically savvy, there will be a time when everybody will put our system and our nation under pressure, that it will not be able to avoid, as we are just be giving me the slides. Just be giving me the slides. I have 2 minutes. Yeah, just be giving me the slides. So what are we expected to do? What to do? We need to revise our curriculum and then shift our focus from just students going to school to learn to now becoming more practical. That's why in Nigeria, there is something that is called CCMAS by the National Universities Commission, asking universities to develop more of practical courses, not just those theoretical ones that will make students go to school and graduate and you don't know much of what to do. But we want a situation where the students will graduate and then become more reliant. You do courses that will make you have your own entrepreneurial enterprises, and then you'll be able to be on yourself, on your own, without necessarily depending on, please be sending the slides. So we have new approaches to pedagogy. The next slide, I'm just mentioning them because of the time. Reduction of inequities in education. These are some of the gains. Can't get from here. Reduction in inequities. The next, please just be rushing the slides for me because of the time. Then collaboration between educators and industry. The next. I've talked about the shift. Now learning is learner-centered. It's now learner-centered, and you now have project-based learning, not just the kind of system that was depending on the lecturer, where the lecturer was in the center of learning and studying. I can operate from here. Okay, so we need to revise our curriculum. We need to adequately fund the education, and we need to do more of sensitization of our own government and our own students, our lecturers. You have abuse of AI. Now people use chat GPT. And then another thing that can be done to counter the effect of chat GPT is to use this other one that is called undetectable.ai that you'll be able to use to counter whatever has been done. Now, recently, Chat GPT itself has been incorporated in Turnitin, so that when you have a work that has been submitted with the Chat GPT incorporated in it, you'll be able to detect which work was done with Chat GPT. And then you have that undetectable.ai that will be able to know this one is to be adopted, this one is not to be adopted, because the concern is how we should be able to avoid abusing AI, which is meant to help us, which is meant to make life easier, which is meant to make educational growth, faster. But because students will now end up abusing it, it will not work well for the system. So there should be a way or measures to counter, these other vicious aspects of the use of AI. So we expect that another thing is that while hard skills are important, we need to learn soft skills such as communication. How do you communicate? Let's say you have an industry, you are producing something, you have those physical skills. But what about the soft skills that, like interpersonal relationship, those the aspects of critical thinking that are necessary for your business to move? You are producing something, you have facilities, you have your infrastructure that you use to produce. But what about your lifestyle? What about the aspect of living that will draw people to your enterprise or expel people? This one come under what we call soft skills. The next slide. Well, to round up, I want to say that while it is wonderful to have these technologies being applied in our educational system, there is also this concern that some people are abusing the technology. This technology we are talking about is like a coin, just like the internet. If you want to use it to destroy yourself, you can. Use it to destroy the world, you can. But that thing, because there is this mastermind behind it, and this human intelligence that is behind it, it's not the internet as as hardware that is causing any trouble. It's just about the abuse. So it's like a coin. You have the positive side and you have the negative side. My own concern in this contribution is that there should be ways of trying to stem the tide of abusing
30 seconds
this
left.
technology that will help promote education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Apologies for the short time. We stick with the schedule. Okay, please, moderator.
Yeah.
I believe you're still mute. Can you unmute?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. He highlighted on the unpredictable nature of our budget, and it has put a wedge between us and assessing emerging trends in communication. As such, it's been a challenge for students to assess certain items that would bring about progress. Now, AI, which is a major issue in emerging trends, students are able to use AI, and I think the education system has somewhat redeemed itself by bringing in entrepreneurial skills into the education system to enhance the already gotten skills from the education that they have. So I want to go on further to introduce to us Dr. Progress Daniel Umor. He is an assistant registrar with the Ignatius Adjue University of Education. He is a scholar published in various publications around the world. Doctor, please, let me hand over to you.
Good morning from over here in Nigeria. My name is Progress. I'll be talking and looking at from the template, looking at crisis management and how the technology, communication technology has helped in crisis management. Now I'll do some empirical reviews and then we'll take a look, we'll draw a gap and we'll look at the challenges. Wala, Daniel, and Odum 2020 examined the role of the social media in the realization of community development in Rivers State. Sorry, I don't have a slide to share. The study examined the utilization of the social media for community development, specific in Port Harcourt. Technology determinism and development media theories were used. The research adopted the survey method with 1,132 800 population within using the last census that was carried out in Rivers State, and the sample was 400 respondents. Now, their findings indicate that social media has propelled development to a greater extent in the city of Port Harcourt, and their recommendations was that the study concluded that those people living already in Port Harcourt are using the social media in order to attract government to development. One of the key stories that could be pointed that social media helped was a post by one Little Success about her inability to pay school fees. That post brought development to her community within the Niger Delta region. So one could say that social media or the internet is a place for realization of development, not just in Nigeria, but the world as large. Another study that I had to examine is the evaluation of broadcast media business strategies during the crisis of the lockdown COVID-19 pandemic, using Rivers State as a model to study the Niger Delta. The study observed that because of the normal way of going to pay at a certain office for advert placement, the internet was used as an avenue, a work hard or a workstation where adverts could just be sent to the stations without a physical contact based on the lockdown that was imposed by the state government. And for that, the strategies that they adopted by this broadcast media during the COVID crisis in Rivers State saved a lot of media outreach from going into extinct, because since most stations survived in their intervention through advert, and during the period of lockdown within the COVID period, a lot of stations will have shut down due to lack of funding. But using the internet, businesses were running. The next review work I'd like us to look at the utilization of the Garden City Radio and Radio Rivers for teaching and learning. Now, during the lockdown, that study too was carried out during the lockdown, and it was shown that the social media or the internet is a tool that could be used for teaching and learning during lockdown, thereby introducing. That study led to what made the Rivers State government to introduce teaching and learning on radio during the lockdown, during COVID. And it has to make education a continued process here in Rivers State within the Niger Delta. Another study that was carried out also with has to do with Facebook text message and Twitter as an effective tool for information dissemination in Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. That study also found out that within the context of this environment, the internet has been used for content creation, content generation, and also information dissemination within the South-South. I'm coming for a minute, let me look at. Now let's look at the gaps in these studies and their challenges. One of the gaps that these studies did not point out were the rural dwellers. So we had to look at the rural dwellers, areas where the internet were not penetrating. And it was observed that some communities actually cut shortfall of this learning process. And the recommendations by this study is that government should enable to provide internet and light for these rural dwellers in order not to be cut off during maybe such pandemic, knowing that the world presently is a global village and globalization is actually taking place through the use of the internet and the communication device. Therefore, it is imperative that government at all levels, the three tiers of government within Nigeria, should put place infrastructural development that will help in fostering development through the use of the internet. I'd like to rest from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Progress Umar.
Well, thank you very much. We're meant to have Dr. Mina. I believe she wants to join online. So, hello, Dr. Mina, are you there with us? Hello, Dr. Mina. Okay. So in the absence of Dr. Mina, okay. Okay. So Dr. Mina is currently unable to join. We'll give her a few seconds. She's trying to rejoin. We'll give her a few seconds to catch up, and we'll take questions meanwhile while we wait for her. We'll take questions from the online audience. We'll take questions from the room.
Okay, we're gonna start to open the question and answer session.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll open while we wait for Dr. Mina.
Okay. Good. From the participant Indonesia, you can free to asking all the presenter for the afternoon session. We're gonna open with the 2 questions for today's session. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start the question from myself as moderator. So this is the question for the Nigeria Hub. Maybe professor and then the doctor, the Professor Barikan can be joined to answer the question. So, sir, what do you think about the digital fluency, especially comparison Nigeria and Indonesia? What is the most difficult challenge to make the digital challenge all for both talents in both country can be bridging in the future? Thank you.
The question is, how can we bring about a convergence in digital talents across both countries? I understand, right?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay. Okay. So Prof will answer the question right away.
Now, for us to know how to come together, to work together, I have mentioned some of the areas where we have defects. I mentioned some of our deficiencies as a country, and then some of the deficiencies of our own systems that are not actually smart. But if we have, I feel that maybe Indonesia may not have as many of these challenges as we do, but let us take it that we have similar challenges. I think the collaboration, because one of the gains of IT in education is that there is an system and industry. We always talk about town and gown, the town representing the industry and gown representing the academia. So for both countries, I think that collaboration will be easier as through the use of the technology we are talking about. So maybe from now, we should look at areas to have meetings, interactions online, and then mention specific areas because of the limitation of time, there are some of the points I was supposed to raise that I could not, more so because of the lapses in our system here. We are talking about power. It's one of the problems we have, power, erratic power supply. And if we have meetings, maybe we set up times to have meetings together, and some of these things that could not be discussed on the spur of the moment during this panel session, we can highlight them. Then that way we'll know how we can collaborate to collectively solve some of these problems as countries. That's what I think we'll be able to do. So your own challenges will be spelled out clearly. Our own challenges will be spelled out clearly. And then we have a meeting point where we should be able to take a position and say, this is what we can do. How does Nigeria help Indonesia? How does Indonesia help Nigeria? That should be when we have subsequent meetings. That's my thinking.
Thank you very much, Professor. It will be really delightful insight and answer from you. Join Dr. Nia to collaborate with the answer. Professor said that collaboration between Nigeria and Indonesia can be helpful using the technologies to bridging the talent gap between Indonesia and Nigeria. Yes. Next collaboration, it will be waiting, and then maybe we can do some panel session to do the next plan.